believe timing would save us if I stayed kind and calm. I told myself love is patient, even when it felt wrong. I watched the days move forward while we stayed in between. I held on to almost moments and called them something real. I kept thinking that he had meant soon. I trusted delay was care. I didn't see how waiting was slowly thinning what we were. This was the love that waited too long for you to finally choose. I gave you space, I gave you time, I gave more than I could lose. I stayed ready with an open heart. You stayed unsure and gone. This was the love that waited too long and learned how to move on. I softened every honest need so nothing would feel rushed. I learned how to pause my feelings just to keep your trust. I told myself slow love is deep, that patience makes it strong. But love shouldn't feel like sentence till our life keeps moving on. I waited for your certainty, like you would come with time. I didn't know my waiting was crossing my own lines. This was a love that waited too long while you stayed undecided. I held the door, kept the light on. You never stepped inside it. I gave you chances, stress, this hope. You gave me reasons to stay on. This was a love that waited too long till my strength finally came. Don't say I should have been patient. I was patient past my truth. You benefited from my waiting while I was losing youth. You didn't need more time to know, you just didn't want to say I won't carry the cost of delay. That was never mine to pay. This was the love you waited too long, but you won't let it down. I won't pause my whole heart for someone else. Your replies grew shorter, like you were running out of care. I felt the change between the lines before you said you weren't there. You used to ask me everything, now you answer just enough. I kept reading into silence, trying to stay tough. I told myself you were just tired, that life was getting loud, but my heart already knew what you wouldn't talk about. Your replies grew shorter, and I grew quiet too. I stopped saying how I felt, so I wouldn't bother you. I was typing full emotions, you sent back a few words. Your replies grew shorter, and mine started to hurt. I waited longer before I wrote, so I wouldn't seem too much. I leave the honest sentences just to keep your touch. I noticed how you ended things without a question mark. I stayed awake, connecting dots in the dark. I kept lowering the volume of everything I felt. I didn't wanna be the reason you chose someone else. Your reply through shorter, like love was losing breath. I was holding conversations. Oh, you were already left. I needed effort, needed truth, not silence, just its own. Your replies grew shorter, and I felt it all. Just say nothing would know. You felt the distance too. You chose these over explaining, and left me guessing you. Watch me try to sing and acting while you pulled away. You don't get credit for that, and you expected to stay. Your replies grew shorter, but my clarity grew strong. I won't chase half the tension away where I don't belong. You lost someone who should have healed. I found my voice again. Your replies grew shorter, and that's where this ends. I don't rewrite old messages or search between the lines. Your replies grew shorter, so I stopped giving you mine. We learned how not to upset things, how to keep the days the same. We avoided heavy questions, so no one felt the blame. We smiled through unfinished thoughts, let moments drift away. We chose what felt the easiest and called it being okay. I felt something slowly fading, the comfort felt too kind. I didn't know we were trading love for peace of mind. We kept choosing comfort over saying what was real. I was reaching for your heart, you were choosing how to feel. I needed truth, not quiet days, not love that stays asleep. We kept choosing comfort and losing something deep. I noticed how we stayed polite when things got hard to say. We fixed the mood, not the problem, and let it fade away. I held back every honest word so nothing would ignite. We stayed calm on the surface while breaking every night. I waited for you to notice that I was slipping through, but comfort kept us steady while care slowly grows thin. Choosing comfort when effort asks for more. I was standing at the doorway, you never opened the door. I gave you patience, gave you grace, you gave me space to ache. We kept choosing comfort and watched our love escape. Don't say this is how love goes when no one wants to feel. You still wanted what was easy. I was freezing being you. You let me carry all the weight, so nothing had to change. You don't get credit for the calm, and that's how love became safe. We kept choosing comfort, but I've gone down and now I won't silence my own heart just to keep things down. You lost someone who wanted death, I found my voice instead. We kept choosing comfort, and that's where it ends. I don't confuse ease with love or quiet with care. We kept choosing comfort, so I chose myself from there. We share the same space every day, same routines, same air. I talk like someone was listening, didn't notice no one was there. You sat beside me in silence, I thought that meant we were close. I didn't feel the distance growing until it mattered the most. I kept assuming we were fine because nothing felt wrong. I didn't know I was carrying my soul alone. I didn't realize I was alone until I needed you most. I reached out for something real and felt myself fall through the ghost. I was loving for two in the room, trying to make it feel true. I didn't realize I was alone until I looked at you. I shared my days in small details. You nodded but stayed away. I felt hurt in the moment and forgotten the next day. I learned how to answer myself before you ever tried. I told myself this was normal, but something inside me cried. I missed the presence for connection and quiet for being near. I didn't know how lonely love could feel when someone's right here. I didn't realize I was alone while you stepped in the same time. I was building something with care. You were passing by. I needed truth like home that lets me drown. I didn't realize I was alone until you didn't turn around. Don't say you were always there. You never stepped aside. You stayed comfortable in a moment while I slowly died. You let me believe we were okay because it made things easier. Don't get credit for being near when you never really saw me. I didn't realize I was alone, but now I finally see. House shouldn't feel like empty space where someone should be. Silence fade away. I found my truth instead. I didn't realize I was alone. I won't forget again. I don't fear being alone tonight. I fear staying unseen. I didn't realize I was alone. Now I know what love should mean. time. I waited for your feelings to finally meet mine. You said my yes so gently, like it meant someday. I held on to that word and let the moment fade. I told myself love moves slow, that patience is brave. I didn't know I was pausing my life, waiting for you to change. Love felt delayed, like it was always almost here. I stayed ready, stayed open, while you stayed unsure and unclear. I need it now, not later, not promises that wait. Love felt delayed, and I paid for every day. I planned my heart around your pace, around what you could give. I made room for uncertainty and called that how we lived. I watched life keep moving while we stayed in between. I was loving in real time, you were loving in dreams. I kept trusting your timing, even when mine felt wrong. I didn't see how waiting was making me weak. Oh, your love felt delayed, like it never caught up. I was giving you presents, you were asking for trust. I didn't need perfection, just effort that stayed. Love felt delayed, and I started to fade. I say you beat in more time, you had enough to choose. You benefited from my patience while I kept losing you. You didn't hesitate by accident, you hesitated by design. I won't care the cost of the delay, that was never mine. Love felt delayed, my leaves on side. I won't toss that heart for someone held inside. Lost someone who stayed late, I thought my strength again. Love felt delayed, and that's where it ends. I don't wait, and then maybe now I beg love to arrive. I felt delayed, so I chose my life. You listen just enough to respond, not enough to really stay. I softened every sentence so my nothing would sound the wrong way. I watched you nod through my feelings like they were something to manage. I needed you to meet me there, not just hear what felt safe. I wasn't asking for agreement or for you to be right. I just needed you present, not perfectly polite. You listen for politeness, not for what I meant. I was breaking in real time. You heard my tone, not the intent. I needed honesty, not calm, not kindness that stayed thin. You listen for politeness and missed everything. I started filtering my pain so you wouldn't feel accused. I learned which words felt safe to say and which ones you'd refuse. Urge to stay composed while I try to feel okay. I felt unseen in conversation. It's when I knew I'd stay. I carried the weight of clarity so you wouldn't have to choose. I spoke gently through truth and still got confused. You listen for politeness like depth is something rude. I was asking to be understood. You were just being smooth. I needed care to move toward me, not calmness stepped aside. You listen for politeness while my heart cried. Don't say you were being kind, you were being careful. You protected your comfort while I was being truthful. You don't get credit for listening if you never leaned in. You listen for politeness and let love in. You listen for politeness, but I'm done speaking small. I won't trim my truth again just to keep things calm. You are someone who spoke with care. I found my voice inside. You listen for politeness, and that's ever since. I don't confuse manners with love, or calm with BUC. You listen for politeness, now I listen to me. I learned to lower my voice so nothing would sound too sharp. I softened every feeling just to protect your heart. I chose words that wouldn't shake you, held back what felt true. I kept my truth in careful lines so I wouldn't lose you. I thought being gentle meant being loved. I felt quiet meant we were fine. space to be honest. My calm had erased my sound. I learned to lower my voice, and that's when I broke down. I watched you relax when I stayed late, when I didn't push or ask. You liked me best when I stayed small and never cracked the mask. I trained my heart to whisper even when it needed air. I was screaming on the inside while you stayed unaware. I mistook silence for safety and patience for love. I didn't see how much of me I was giving up. I learned to lower my voice so nothing would feel wrong. I carried all the tension so we could get along. I gave you peace, I gave you space, you gave me reasons to hide. I learned to lower my voice and let myself inside. Don't say I was too much, you just wanted less. You benefited from my crying while I lived in the stress. You don't get credit for staying calm when I couldn't speak. I broke myself into silence. I wasn't strength, it was weak. I learned to lower my voice, but I won't do that again. I won't trade my honesty for someone else's comfort. Then you lost someone who tried too hard. I found my sound instead. I learned to lower my voice. Now I raise it for myself. I don't need to be quieter to find a place to stay. I learned to lower my voice. Now I let it say what it needs to say. We shared the daylight conversations, smiles that looked okay. But when the world got quiet, you were always far away. I held my thoughts till evening, hoping you'd stay close. But you kept your distance when I needed you the most. I felt the truth in empty hours when the noise was gone. That's when I realized something had been wrong. We didn't share our nights, only talked about our days. I carried all the silence when the lights faded away. I needed you beside me when the walls came down. We didn't share our nights, and I felt alone somehow. I watched you leave the moment started feeling real. You stayed for what was easy, never stayed to feel. I learned how to fall asleep with questions in my head. I shared my nights with worry while you rested instead. I stopped expecting comfort after sunset came. I knew our love lived shallow, never deep enough to stay. What felt like we didn't share our nights, but I want back again. Love should hold you closer when the world caves in. You are someone who stayed awake. I found my truth instead. We didn't share our nights, and I don't feel the quiet now. We're sleeping on alone. We didn't share our nights, so I learned to feel alone. You noticed me when it was easy, when nothing asked too much. I felt like I was interrupting, just wanting your touch. You listened when you had time, when nothing else was allowed. I learned how to wait politely in a half-allowed crowd. I told myself you were just busy, that this was normal now. But love shouldn't feel like permission or asking how. Your attention felt optional, like I could be replaced. I was standing right in front of you, but never in first place. I needed to feel chosen, not fitted in between. Your attention felt optional, and that cut deeper than unseen. I learned when not to text you, when not to say too much. I made myself convenient just to feel your touch. I watched you give your energy to everything but us. I stayed quiet, stayed patient while losing trust. I lowered every expectation so I wouldn't feel the fall. I told myself this was enough, when you told me when you choose a heart to beat for thousands that I shouldn't have to lose. Your attention felt optional, but my worth is not. I will wait to be prioritized or love from the second thought. You are someone who stayed where I found my voice. This time attention felt optional, so I chose myself ahead. I don't chase divided focus or ask to be seen. Your attention felt optional. Now I know what love should mean. I held my breath around your mood, like one wrong word could break us. I learned how to be gentle before I even felt safe. We used to laugh without thinking. Now I measure every sound. Love felt like something breakable. I tried not to let it down. I couldn't tell when love became something I had to protect. I didn't know when caring started meaningless. Love became something fragile. I was afraid to touch. I needed truth, I needed warmth. My love that cracked so much, I walked on careful sentences so nothing would fall apart. Love became something fragile, and I carried all its parts. I watched you pull back slowly. Every time I felt too real, I learned how to pause my feelings so you wouldn't have to feel. I stayed quiet to keep us calm while tension filled the room. I was trying not to break us while you left me for glue. I missed a caution for connection, silence for being stronger. But you see how careful love of slowly going wrong. Love became something fragile, and I was hurt to feel. I wanted us to be honest, not just careful here. I gave you patience, gave you grace, you gave me reasons to blend. Love became a song say you lost someone who loved you real. I found my ground again. Love became something fragile, and I chose myself in the end. I don't feel love breaking now. Who's speaking what I feel? Love became something fragile, so I learned what's real. I told myself I could wait. The love asked you to bend. I ignored the quiet voice inside saying this is where it ends. I showed up tired but smiling, made space when I felt small. I kept choosing your comfort over listening to my own call. And knew what I was giving up, but I stayed anyway. I thought loving you meant losing me just for another day. I stayed past my own needs, past where I felt okay. I kept watering a love that was slowly slipping away. I needed care, I needed truth, not promises, not repeat. I stayed past my own needs and paid for it quietly. I learned how to adjust my pain so it wouldn't show. I convinced myself this was more normal. Even when I felt low, I crossed lines I once protected, caught up being kind. I didn't see I was teaching you how to leave me behind. I waited for you to notice how tired I'd become, but you got used to me staying. Even when I was on, I I don't regret how deeply I loved or how long I believed. I stayed past my own needs. Now I'm leaving with peace. We use soft words on hard days, change the subject when it hurt. I felt the truth between the lines, but we never said it first. We laughed to fill the silence, kept things light to stay okay. I knew something needed naming, but we let it slip away. I waited for you to go deeper, you waited for me to stop. We kept circling the truth, afraid of what it might cost. We talked around the problem like it would disappear. I was asking for honesty, you were asking for no fear. I needed clarity, not calm, not peace that lets things right. We talked around a problem until love forgot. I noticed how we stayed polite when things got close to real. We fixed the mood, not the meaning, ignored how it made me feel. I carry questions in my chest, you carried on the same. We chose comfort over courage and called it keeping the flame. I kept hoping you'd lean in, say what we both knew, but we kept talking in circles like that would see us through. Excuse, I was trying to be understood. You were trying not to choose. I gave you patience, gave you grace. You gave me maybes and stops. We talked around the problem, and that's where love got lost. Someone say you're getting you fought it every day. You just didn't want to name it, so you could walk away. You let me down my own truth, so nothing had to change. You don't get credit for being calm when calm kept it strange. We talked around the problem, but I won't do that now. I won't circle my own needs with soften every sound. You are someone who asked for you. I found my voice again. We talked around the problem, and that's where this ends. Truth need to be spoken, not handled with care. We talked around a problem, so I stopped staying there. I felt the quiet before the fall, before anything went wrong. You stopped sharing little things like you were already gone. Your pauses came before the distance. Your absence learned my name. I noticed love was thinning before I knew who to blame. I told myself I was imagining what I didn't want to see, but my heart was paying attention long before it reached me. Your silence started early, before goodbye had shape. I was still holding conversations you were already escaping. I asked with patience, not with fear. You answered less each day. Your silence started early and taught me how to stay awake. You stayed kind but not involved, present but not deep. I felt you choosing distance in the hours you wouldn't keep. I learned how not to ask too much, so nothing would collapse. I didn't know I was adjusting to the love you slowly lacked. I waited for you to notice that I felt alone with you, but silence doesn't feel like loss until it's all you do. Silence started early while I was still trying. I kept hoping for connection. You kept quietly denying. I needed truth, I needed care. I can't let phase away. My silence started early. Instead, love wouldn't stay. Don't say it happened suddenly. You were leaving piece by piece. You let me feel the distance grow while you stayed at ease. You don't get credit for staying polite when you already chose to go. You taught me how abandonment feels before I even knew. Your silence started early, but my clarity came on time. I won't chase quiet love again or beg for half a sun. You lost someone who stayed away. I found my voice instead. Your silence started early. Now it doesn't live in my head. I don't feel it quiet now. One night without a sound. Your silence started early. So I learned to turn alone. I kept reaching out with open hands, while you stayed where it was easy. I learned how to carry the weight and call it understanding. You showed up when it felt light, pulled back when it got real. I stayed hopeful, stayed patient, ignoring what I could feel. I told myself love shouldn't push, that calm means it's okay. I didn't know I was doing the work for both of us every day. Love didn't ask for effort from you, just from me. I was fighting for connection, you were comfortable and free. I needed movement, needed care, not silence wearing grace. Love didn't ask for effort, so I carried the whole weight. I planned my heart around your pace, around what you would give. I made excuses for the gaps just to keep us living. I watched you choose what felt safe. Every time it got hard, I stayed loyal to the promise while you guarded your heart. I kept believing love would grow if I stayed kind enough. I didn't see how one-sided that version of love was. Love didn't ask for effort, it asked me to adjust. Habits around your comfort until I lost my trust. I gave you time, gave you truth, you gave me reasons to wait. Love didn't ask for effort, and that's why I couldn't stay. Don't say you carried your weight when you never stepped in. You watched me hold it all together while you did let it fit again. You benefited from my patience, from how I stayed polite. You'd only did if you stayed calm when I was fighting the night. Love didn't ask for effort, but I do now. I won't carry something alone and call it love so high. You lost someone who showed up real. I found my strength instead. Love didn't ask for food, so I finally did for me. I don't beg for motion to serve or explain what I need. Love didn't ask for effort, now I choose me. to stay. You asked how I was really doing in that quiet, careful way. I felt you choosing us back then, and things you didn't say. Now I feel the space between us, and how you look away. I didn't need big gestures or promises that last. I just missed the intention you gave so naturally in the past. I miss the way you tried when love felt alive, when effort wasn't heavy and staying felt like choice, not time. I'm still standing where we were. You already slipped inside. I miss the way you tried, and that's what made me cry. You stopped asking how I felt, stopped noticing the change. I started explaining less just to keep things the same. You showed up, but not all the way. Like trying asked too much. I miss the warmth of your intention. I missed your touch. I kept hoping you'd return to it, to the care you used to show. I stayed loyal to the memory while you let it go. I miss the way you tried, and you let me in between. And you didn't guard your feelings or hide behind being seen. I needed effort, not excuses, not love that passed me by. I miss the way you tried before you stopped trying. Don't say love just fades away. You let it slip with ease. You chose comfort over courage and left it all to leave. You didn't leave all at once. You stepped aside in time. I was still reaching for your hand. You stopped trying. I miss the way you tried, but I won't beg again. I won't chase a memory or love that won't just end. You lost someone who stayed too long. I found my strength instead. I miss the way you tried. Now I choose me ahead. I don't miss who you are now, or what we couldn't be. I miss the way you tried, and that's enough for me. We said we'd talk about it later, like later would come on its own. We filled the space with everyday things and left the truth alone. I thought time would make it clearer, its way. I didn't know we were letting the days decide. I waited for a moment, you waited for a sign. We kept believing time would speak before we did. We let days decide us instead of choosing now. We let silence grow between us and called it working out. I was asking for direction, you were letting time decide. We let days decide us and watched our feelings slide. We woke up next to habits, not the love we used to feel. I stayed hoping for a shift, you stayed distant, calm and still. I told myself tomorrow we fix what we delayed, but tomorrow kept arriving and nothing changed. I felt the ending in routine and how we stopped asking why. We let comfort take the wheel while love passed by. We let days decide us, every teen replaced truth. I was ready to face it, you were waiting it out. I needed choice, not drifting, not love left undefined. We let days decide us. We left ourselves behind. Don't say it just happened to us. We chose not to choose. You knew what avoiding cost me. I felt it every move. You benefited from the waiting, from not drawing a line. You don't get credit for the ending when you let time decide. We let days decide us, but I won't do that again. I won't hand my heart to waiting, I'll call delay a plan. You lost someone who wanted truth, I found my voice in time. We let days decide us, and I decide mine. Always for love to happen, to hope it reads my mind. We let days decide us. This time I decide my life. I didn't slam the door behind me, didn't say a last goodbye. I just felt something end inside and let it pass me by. I packed my words back into myself, left them where they fell. You were already distant, so I didn't ring the bell. I realized my explaining because I didn't care, but because loving loudly never met you there. I stayed as long as I could breathe. Inside what we became, I walked away quietly and saved myself from the pain. I used to fight for every moment, for reasons for repair, but silence taught me everything you weren't willing to share. I learned when effort feels lonely, it's already too late. Love shouldn't need permission just to stay away. I stopped waiting for you to notice how tired I had grown. I chose peace over asking to be less alone. I walked away quietly after breaking every day. I didn't need another reason to feel pushed away. I gave you honesty and time. You gave me empty space. I walked away quietly with dignity intact. Don't say I gave up easy. I stayed past my own truth. You benefited from my silence while I was losing youth. You don't get closure from my calm or answers from my beat. Walking away quietly was the loudest strength I gained. I walked away quietly, but my heart was finally loud. I won't beg to be chosen or something what I'm proud of now. You lost someone who loved you deep. I found myself again. I walked away quietly, and that's where healing began. I don't need to be understood to know I did what's right. I walked away quietly and slept through the night. At first it scared me when you pulled away. I searched for reasons, and every day I waited, worried, checked my phone, told myself I wasn't alone. But distance has a way of settling in, like silence, learning where to live. I stopped asking where you were. I started learning what it meant. I knew the pattern before you spoke. I felt the shift, the quiet joke. I didn't panic, didn't fight. I learned this feeling too many nights. Your absence became familiar, like something I've stay close enough to see kind, far enough to never be mine. I adjusted to your space, like it was love in its final phase. I start saving things to tell you, start hoping you will stay. I'll make peace with the quiet that throwed you away. I didn't need an ending scene, no dramatic words between. My absence feels this routine. My truth is already seen. Your absence became familiar. I felt it before you left. I was carrying all the effort. You carried nothing but rest. I needed presence, needed care, not love that fades and stalls. Your absence became familiar, and that was my final thought. Don't say you never meant to leave. You practiced disappearing. You taught me how to be alone while you stay comfortable breathing. You don't get credit for staying kind. When you stayed, you touched instead. You read absence to the damage, so you didn't have to end it. Your absence became familiar, but I won't live there anymore. I won't wait inside empty space for that is behind to go. You lost someone who stayed aware. I found my truth again. Your absence became familiar. That's why I let it end. I don't miss what never stayed. I wonder where you are. Your absence became familiar. Now my peace feels sharp and I don't rush into giving now. I listen before I lean. I've learned what it costs to stay where love is rarely seen. I carry lessons in my hands, no bitterness or fear. I still believe in honesty, even after all those years. I'm not afraid of loving deep. I'm afraid of losing me, so I move slow with open eyes and let my heart breathe. My heart still knows how to care, even after the pain. just clear, just sincere. I don't chase what won't return, nor beg to be chosen twice. I notice effort, notice truth. I trust the quiet signs. I don't confuse attention with love that's really good. I protect what matters most, but I still dare. I used to love without a God, call that being brave. Now I know love can be gentle and still feel safe. My heart still knows how to care. It just asks for more than words. I need presence in real time, not promises deferred. I give my kindness carefully. I don't bleed to prove it's real. My heart still knows how to care, and it knows what it should feel. I won't apologize for healing. I'm moving at my speed. If you want my love now, you'll meet me where I need. I won't shrink over God to make someone scared. Caring doesn't mean losing myself. I learned that the hard way. My heart still knows how to care, and that's my quiet strength. I won't harden what's too soft. I trade truth for less. You don't get all of me at once, just because you ask. My heart still knows how to care, and it honors every past. Don't regret the way I loved or how deeply I tried. My heart still knows how to care, and I stand by that inside. I told myself just one more day that maybe you'd arrive. I kept my heart on standby, tried to keep hope alive. I planned my feelings carefully so I wouldn't ask too much. I stayed ready in the silence, waiting for your touch. I kept reading signs and nothing, calling stillness, almost there. I didn't see how waiting was teaching me despair. This is where I stop waiting for you to finally choose. I gave you all my patience. Now I'm taking back the truth. I stayed ready through the dark. This is where I stop waiting and start walking on my own. I adjusted to your time and let my needs stand in line. I told myself love is gentle, even when it wastes your time. I watched life keep moving while I stayed right here, holding space for a promise you never made clear. I waited for your certainty, like you would save us both. I didn't know my waiting was costing me the most. This is where I stop waiting for answer that won't come. I kept choosing understanding while you chose me. Myself walk away. Don't say time was all you needed. You had enough to know. You just like me standing still and stay free to go. You don't get credit for my patience or the nights I stayed strong when it wasn't love anymore. It's where I went wrong. This is where I stop waiting and choose myself at last. I won't close my heart for a future stuck in past. You are someone who stayed too ready. I found the strength to stay. This is where I stop waiting and finally stop ahead. I don't feel the empty space on mornings on my own. This is where I stop waiting and make my life